And so when we are not on par with our energy systems, when we are not in alignment, as you talked about our chakras, when we're not in alignment, the first entry point is a low vibration, and it operates from the waist down. And so what we're seeing is a sexualization and the abuse of power. We're working in the very id, the very low level energy. But the environmental, the spiritual energy is letting us know, like, this is the energy of the moment. We either need to raise our vibration, come up and meet the energy where it is, or, it will show up in the way that it does. And it's going to show up because every one of us is feeling it. We're all feeling it, but it's how we show up. And what is going to be propagated, as I said, America as the marketplace is going to continue to propagate the message because, it's feeding the id, it's feeding the ego. And what I feel like where we're accountable, just to say, I was very disappointed in how we were, for lack of a better word, slutted across our presidential campaign and taking your booties to the poll and everything. It was disgusting and degrading to me. And I felt very embarrassed as a Black woman that this was how we were showing up. And that our government felt like it was okay to pass that message around to encourage us to vote. And so it's up to us to not accept that, to hold each other accountable. It's up to us. If we say, yes, this is okay for everybody just to do, if we have no standards, every community has a standard. Even from our ancestors, there was a standard. Whatever you give is what you get. Karmically, whatever we put out, whatever seeds we sow is what we're getting back. And so when we start, as you said, Akilah, abuse of power in that way, what is the exchange for that? What currency? What are we exchanging? What are we putting out? What energetic exchange are we asking to receive back from that? We see all types of horrific things happening, and it's up to us. Just because, like as Dominque said earlier, we are the blueprint. So we are the ones that should be more accountable, even more so, to hold our families and our communities to the fire and to the higher standard.
Thank you so much for that. First of all, so Dom has to hop off, and that is totally fine. All the grace that you need for being here. We have 3 more questions. What I would like to do is kind of do like
I was gonna wait. I'm sorry. Hold on, Dom. Before you go, did you have any final like shameless plugs, comments, or just anything you wanted to sign off with before you dipped out? I'm sorry. I know you got baby things.
Nah. I'm sure I do. But I'm a tone down the Leo and the Oakland, as Miko would say, and I think I'm gonna let that rest. I think collectively we said a lot, and I don't have anything else to share. But I lied. What I did want to say was as I was listening to this whole presentation, I definitely think Tuskegee should be producing a very large scale summit or colloquium. I don't know what the process of the forum would look like, because of going back to the blueprint of George Washington Carver as literally the godfather of sustainable agriculture. You have Booker T. Washington, who really developed a lot with regards to economic sustainability. And I just feel like with Tuskegee having such deep roots in sustainability and regenerative thought theory, processes and practices, that this should be a stepping stone for this institution to really take these conversations and activations to a bigger level. And I'm down to like have conversations about that off air, but I really think that it's really important, like Tuskegee just as an institution and as the soil of Tuskegee is so rich in our history and culture that this needs to be amplified for the culture on a bigger scale. Like this, I just don't want this to fizzle out. That's all I want to say. And congratulations on getting this far, and thanks for having my energy present.
Agreed. Thank you.
Thank
Doc.
you.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all. Sending
Bye.
love.
Baby.
Bye. Ugh.
So we have 3 more questions, and let's do like a lightning round question. So I'm gonna Brittany, Jasmine, and Rob. I'm gonna let you guys speak, and then if you could ask it, and then we'll ask all 3, and then we'll just like answer them, because I know we kind of running on time, but what is time, right? Okay, so Brittany.
Hi, Tondi.
Hey,
Hello.
or Danny, I should say.
Yeah, Brittany's my first name, Danny's my middle name. Hey guys, I just want to say first of all, thank you for this presentation. This has been very spiritually, I don't know, activating. Me and Tondi are great friends, and I'm here to support her and to like just support this whole movement. I also am an advocate for low impact living. And you guys really inspired me to make it more ancestral based, and I'm really excited to really share that. I had a few points, but I'm just gonna go past it. And you know, I was just wanted to say that I really agree with about there are a lot of distractions in our community. I think a lot of oppressive distractions that I think kind of try to infiltrate especially when we have points where we are in unity and stuff, to try to infiltrate that. And I think it's more important now than ever to not let those distractions get to us and really focus on moving through spirit, moving through our ancestors, moving through the sustainability and regenerative culture that we have in our DNA pretty much on a soul-based level. So I just wanted to say that. And I really don't have a question. I just wanted to talk some points and just say that I also shared for Kondu. Am I pronouncing it right? Am I pronouncing your name right? I'm sorry.
It's Kando, like Bando, like
Kando. Yeah. Okay, awesome, Kando. You spoke on about your t-shirt company and such, and I shared a link in the chat. I have a friend who is into like reusing materials, and he had took some thrifted shirts that he had and he tie-dyed them and just like plastered his logo on top of whatever design was there to kind of reuse what was already there. And I thought that was a good idea. So I will resend it. I'll definitely resend it. He tie-dyed it and all that stuff. So it's really cool. So that's all I wanted to say. You guys really touched on some points. Any questions I may have had spiritually was answered. And of course, physically. So thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Okay.
So Jasmine, hope I'm doing this right. Am I doing this right?
Hey y'all. Thank you so much for this talk. Y'all were killing it. I'm just so happy to be here. I'm also a good friend of Tandi's, and my question will be short. I work in the arts, right? Like I do art criticism, art writing. I work with different artists. And this talk kind of started getting the gears going for me in terms of questions that I've been asking about the role of public policy, right, in art. And you all mentioned that as one of the key components to addressing these issues related to sustainability, right? So that's one thing that I really appreciated. And I guess my question is like, how do you all, or do you all think about like the ways that farming, textiles, materials, like the clothing aspect of sustainability intersects with the arts? Like I'm thinking of canvases, I'm thinking of brushes, I'm thinking of like painting materials, right? Like how do you all, or do you at all, consider like the ways that this conversation like intersects with other fields, and like what are some ways that you imagine those fields coming together around this topic of sustainability?
So
I hope that makes sense.
I actually I started, I paint as part of my process. It's been part of my meditation, painting. And so I love texture. As a designer who is focused in wovens, I love texture. So I incorporate a lot of the fabrications into my art, my collages, my painting, using a lot of different mediums, but being able to take pieces of fabric and put that into art. And I think art also shows up where, we see a lot of artists today who are taking old fabrications or old pieces and painting and re-engineering and deconstructing and reconstructing. I mean, that's how I started. I've always been an artist first and foremost. Some of the stuff that I've produced for Nordstrom at this moment has been hand done, hand painted, here in New York. So I feel like art is an incredible medium to marry with fashion. Denim has always been my canvas. Sometimes I create the washes here. A lot of times I create the prototypes here in my home and send to my factory to recreate and figure out a way to make it work that is, sustainable. And whatever I can produce here locally, I will do here locally. So I feel like there's a lot where art and fashion converge. There's, as far as, like I said, for our fashion presentation, rather than, because of the pandemic, we weren't able to do an actual fashion show, a traditional fashion show. We used the space to be on the CFDA's Runway 360 to tell a story and tell a message about the origin stories of denim and denim as a social and cultural political icon in American history. So art, whether it's canvas, using fabrications as as long as you prime the fabric, you're fine to use whatever fabric as your canvas. And there's artists like Kimberly Golson. I think it was Kimberly Golson. Akilah, you may correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was Kimberly Golson who used hair on her in her last fashion presentation to show like different to pay homage to the different Black hairstyles on her sweaters. And there's artists that use actual human hair to tell the hair story of our culture. I mean, there's so many different ways to be able to express through art and still use it in the fashion space and can be completely sustainable. I hope I answered your question, Jasmine.
No, you definitely did. I guess I think about like, I feel like fashion is wearable. So it has this utility, right? Where you can take old clothes, like our ancestors would take old t-shirts and old jeans and put that in a quilt, right? And it just makes me think like, how does that translate to the visual arts? Like an artist making a canvas that maybe, or making a painting that, I don't know, how it like translates in the same way. Like, what are some of those sustainability practices for artists? And I think like visual artists at least, and I do think that that's like getting me there in terms of thinking about what that could look like.
There's so much you can do as around storytelling, and understanding history and being able to express what it is that you're passionate about. Like, for instance, the women on the plantations, they were the ones that pioneered pants for women. They took their husbands' pants because they were being, basically beat up in those long skirts by the cotton and whatever other weeds that were growing was scratching up their legs. So they took their husband's pants and the pants that were beaten up and were no longer wearable for their husband, and they repurposed them and they sewed them and made them into pants to be worn for them. And that's why the women in those centuries started to have those little pantlets underneath their skirts. It was the women on the plantations, the enslaved women, who came up with that. So I mean, there's so much. We have so much in our history that can be displayed through art, through fashion, through music. There's so much that we can, draw from to continue to inform. And I think being able to educate and inform is so much part of what sustainability looks like. Being able to take that story and be able to bring it forward. So much what sustainability looks like.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
I just
Thank
wanted
you.
to add to that a lot for me is always working backwards. So sometimes it's looking around and seeing what it is that I do have and creating something, and then from that seeing how it connects to my beliefs or what it is that I have. Because sometimes just what I have around is what I have, you know, i.e. the plastic bottles. So I think that there's many ways to create art, you know, out of wood, out of things that you have around. It's just really like Miko was saying, what is the story that you're trying to tell? And I think once you focus on the story that you're trying to tell, little bits of that you're going to start to see and show up. Like I saw someone in the chat saying spices as watercolor, you know, or whether it's hair or whether it's, I think just realizing the why behind what it is you're doing or how it connects into what it is you're trying to tell is kind of important. So it's, you can, art is the living, breathing, is you know, in essence, art is your everyday. So don't be scared to look and find things that's within your everyday.
Okay, so we have one more question from Rob. Yeah.
Hey. Greetings. What's up, everyone? I'm Robin. I'm actually Candace's mom, who calls herself Cando. And, you know, I'm a Tuskegee alumnus as well. Okay, so really, you know, I have lupus, and that kind of helped or inspired me to create this business called The Sanctuary. And The Sanctuary was really focused on natural products and fragrances. So I started as an aromatherapist, and people wanted products to go with the fragrances. In other words, can you make me something where I can put this scent in my shea butter, la da da da. So I guess my point I'm going to get to is Carol's daughter and Lisa Price. Like, one of my friends used to make a product for Lisa Price, okay? And she told me that Lisa was selling her business and blah, blah. But she said she's getting paid, but she's not really that happy because she doesn't have control of the product, control of the ingredients. One of the things that I've really been focused on here is control of the ingredients in my products. And I don't want to shift that a whole lot. And so, although I would like to be more widely distributed, I also want to be able to employ people in my community by letting them make products here and distributing everything from my building. We got a building here, I got space here, I should be able to do that. So how I think this is probably for me, what's her name?
Miko.
Miko. I was going to say Milo. Miko. Well, actually, for all the ladies. You know, what is a good way for me to kind of be able to engage with people like yourselves, like Black designers who might want fragrances or you know, different kinds of body products? Because I'm not sure I really want to try to be in Nordstrom's. I went that route and I wasn't feeling that because of the way you have to alter your product to be able to sit on the shelf and travel and all that kind of thing. So what's your recommendation? Because I still want to be like in control of my product and stuff like that.
What's exciting about today, this is firstly so nice to meet you, Miss Robin. And so nice to meet
Thank you.
Mom, Cando.
Her mom from Harlem. Yeah.
Okay.
That's one of my polo grounds, Colonial, from 47th Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. So firstly, I just put up in the chat, Gwen Jameer, who's Naturalicious, she was just featured on Urban Beauty TV. And we were actually together in Urban Beauty TV on BT Her. But she has a natural line. I think the best thing about where we are today is you don't have to be with these big box retailers. For me, I have a strategy for my business, and part of my business strategy is I wanted to be marketed in a certain kind of way, but also be able to have my own story that I'm telling. I knew that they could market me in a way where I would be the message would reach further if I'm in Nordstrom. They don't carry all of my collection, they carry a part of my collection. But I think you have right now, you're able to create the space that you want. You can absolutely sell it the way you want to and make it the way you want it, and utilize because of, you can have an e-shop, you can have whatever it is that you want to craft. That's the beauty of today, is that you can craft the store and the experience however you feel is right for you. I did put Gwen Jameer in because she does do natural products, and there's a lot of other women in this space who are doing a lot of these natural products. I'm trying to think of any of the sisters that we know, Akilah, who are doing natural products. I can't think of anybody right off the top of my head. I can't hear you.
Well, really, my focus is more so the natural products are just really, I made them for me, but then they became part of the business. But the natural products are just complementary of requests from people to be able to scent something. My thing is aromatherapy. That's what I like. It's intuitive aromatherapy. So we do fragrance creation, we do individual fragrance creation and things like that. But we also have a certain amount of fragrances that over these 15 years have become like favorites of certain people. So we carry those fragrances. So I guess I'm not so much trying to be in the quote unquote like shea butter crew. I'm really more involved with.
She's so hard. She's Harlem for real. She's really hard.
I'm really more involved with aromatherapy, how to utilize it as mood medicine, mind treatment, the way that our ancestors used it, how to do sacred bath, how to, utilize Florida water, lots of things centered around Santeria and all kinds of other things. And so
to answer your question, Ms. Robin, your storytelling is really, really key.
Okay.
Being able to show usage of your products is really, really key, and being able to get your products widely received. I think the ways in which you're using it and showing the history and the practice, because what I found out just as far as being in a meditation space and being a meditator and guiding meditations and leading back to Yoruba tradition, being raised, Catholic, but understanding that all of it came from Yoruba tradition and all of that, right? Most everybody got excited because this is America. Everybody wanted Palo Santo. Everybody wants a stone. Everybody wants some, oil. Everybody wants something and doesn't really understand the origins of why you use it. And it's still not fully understood. And so what you're going to bring is your authenticity of your story of the actual usage. And it could be, I'm nominating you to help your mom do these 5-minute or 3-minute, 2-minute shorts of how to use, do little videos, how to use, blah, blah, blah. This is how we use, and that on your Instagram or however you're showing and showing your, your products on your platform, that's going to be very helpful. When they see that, they're gonna, oh my God, I never thought about that, and being able to connect and engage your customer in that way. I think you're gonna explode. If you do that, you're gonna explode, I think, for sure. Because if you already have a strong customer base, this is just gonna be more helpful. What you doing one-on-one with your people when you meet them, break it out into like small, short vignettes over time. It's gonna help you.
Okay. Excellent advice. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you kindly.
You're absolutely welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. So I know Miss Underwood has to go. But yeah, we could be here all night, but we don't have all night. And I'm gonna respect that. Thank you so much, Miko. Thank you so much, Akilah. Thank you everybody for being here, staying tuned with us. Dr. Shange, the director of CISC, has a last remark and Mr. Hooks about next year's event, and any last shameless plugs or anything. We gonna keep that like lightning, but I'm gonna let Dr. Shange speak.
Wow. So I really don't have much to say. We definitely try to curate this space on Fridays for the sisters, and y'all tore it down. I mean, amazing. Raised the bar on what we're trying to do here. So I really appreciate all the presenters. It was wonderful. I hope that we can continue our relationship and following up, especially on what Dom suggested. We've got some other outlets that we can really kind of push this movement, especially in the southeastern region, where we do have some resources too. So thank you all. Looking forward to growing relationship. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. Y'all killed it. Thank you.
Thank you. This was incredible. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone. And thank you for the participation and for asking us on this panel. This was amazing.
Absolutely. I'm so grateful to be here. Definitely an honor for sure. For sure. A deep honor. But we got to keep it up. I'm definitely with Dom. You know, institutions matter. You know, we still going to places named Rockefeller today. We still going to places, you know, named after these people who have stolen, raped, pillaged, and have done worse. And we're still going to their institutions and, you know, giving unnecessary, undeserved glory to their heroes. So I definitely think that anything that is bigger that's going to be here a very long time, people need to know the name. You know, Miko needs to know Dominque, needs to know Akilah outside in years from now, and Kendo and Towndi, and these are people and who we need to know. These are our heroes.
Yes.
Thank you. And just quickly before we go, I see in the chat. So my product is right now available at Nordstrom. It's launching on Shopbop. It's on Nordstrom.com. If you're not in New York, if you're in New York, you can go to the New York City flagship. If you're in Atlanta, you can go to Phipps Plaza flagship, but it's also on Nordstrom.com. And then next month, it will be on Shopbop.com. Which is online retail. They'll have different product than what's on Nordstrom.com. And you can follow me on Oak and Acorn Official on IG. I'll put it in the chat, and thank you guys so much.
Same, all my info is in the chat. Feel free to email, reach out, IG, add me. New collection coming. When, I don't know. I recently got some land and we're doing some sustainable community development. So collection is like staggering in the back, but prayerfully by May, we'll have a new collection out. Please feel free to check out what's there now. Yeah, always reach out. I'm your round-the-way homegirl waist designer.
Okay, well, I don't know, Mr. Hood, do you have anything you wanted to add?
Yes, I want to thank all our speakers and all our guests for this great week. It's been really educational and really amazing. You know, just, you know, each year is getting better and better. So next year, with everybody, we would like to announce that unfortunately, I've been having technical difficulties, but next year we will be doing urban. Urban will be the theme, and we will bring in a lot of information on urban farming here in Montgomery and across the world. We'll be looking for great speakers, so come back 2022, April 18th through the 22nd, urban. And ladies, thank y'all so much. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to ask a question, but I was just enjoying everything I was hearing. So thank y'all so much.
All right. Well, I don't know if I'm kind of full right now. So again, thank you. Thank everybody. I know a lot of people had to leave. Have a great night. Stay blessed. Have a great weekend. And this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. Peace, y'all.
Yes. Thank you so much, ladies.
Looking forward to
And don't forget to fill out that survey, get them free seats, tell your friends, let them know. Yes, y'all can go ahead and start leaving now. Won't hold the hostage. I just